Yeah, I mean, I've been called dumb once or twice in my life.
Today, for sure. Yeah, for sure today, been called dumb. Like maybe in the last like 6 minutes.
If somebody has tuned into the show before, they know that we do forget to turn the lights on. But if you have ever sat in this room, you understand that these lights turn this place into an actual scorching sun. So we try and keep them off to the very last second.
Yeah. Even though, like we know actually it'd probably be a better podcast with the lights off.
For sure.
For the watchers.
For sure.
For the folks watching at home.
For the folks watching at home, yeah, you guys don't
have to see us.
That's
as
right.
Much.
But yeah, we turn these lights on. We're a little late here because it's hot in here. All right, guys, welcome to the show here. If you guys have never tuned in before, I'm Nick.
I am.
He goes by Kevin, Lamb, Idiot, whatever you guys prefer.
Kevin, that's what it was.
That's what you are. This show, man, we always like to hash it out. We like to have some fun subjects. We like to have some weird news stories. We like to try and cover a little bit of the basis that you guys don't see. We try and give you some news articles that you missed, some positive stories that maybe the news suppressed, and maybe
suppressed.
Because look, man, they're not on the main page. You know, you got to dig for.
All right, I don't think suppressed is the word.
It
maybe.
is, dude.
I
They
think
just
maybe
push them
missed.
all the way to
maybe missed, glossed over, missed, not suppressed. I don't know if they're actively like keeping these stories down.
Well, here's what I'm saying: they're not on the front page. They're not on the second page. So
that's for sure.
So you know they're not helping us.
They're for sure not on any of the top pages.
No. So we try to give you some good stories. We got some good ones today for you. If it's your first time, go ahead and hit that follow button. We appreciate it, guys. Help us, just follow along, keep it going. As always, hope Paul's here. If he's not, Paul, you always get a shout out, man. He's a rock star.
You deserve it.
That's right. You deserve it. Any other shout outs for you? Let's start off with a shout out.
Yeah, I'm going to start out with my buddy Jarrett. Gave us a shout out on the Instagram. Reposted, said he's always listening to the podcasts. Is laughing all the time. Jarrett, an engine athlete on the old Ramathorn, just subscribed
for 3 months. Wow, let's
go,
Paul.
3 months.
Big shout out.
Keeping that subscribe train rolling.
I love it. Appreciate that. We always shout out Paul. He's our moderator. If you get out of control, if you get out of line, you get in the band hammer. He doesn't play around with it.
But Engine Athlete Jarrett on Instagram, check him out. He is doing more cardio a day than I do a week.
Shout out, Jared. Also want to shout out my boy Pat McAllister. Pat, if you're listening here, gave us a nice shout out on Facebook just now. And also want to shout out a little company that gave us some love, a company called Podgo. We might have to throw an ad in here going forward. They're gonna maybe pay us for some small ads in our show. So me and Lamb might have to show you an ad or read you something. We're really not sure. They haven't given us all the deets yet. But
since we're already starting that train, I'm gonna shout out a product too.
Nice, shout it out.
This.
That metal thing.
This metal thing that looks like a stainless steel flower pot.
Yes.
Is actually something I bought on Kickstarter. It's called an ice cream canteen.
Paul, listen closely here.
So it is basically a double wall insulated tub that is designed to fit a perfectly Ben & Jerry's pint or like a Haagen-Dazs pint of ice cream in it. And you screw the cap on, you can take it, and it'll last at least 4 hours of completely frozen ice cream. And you can take it anywhere.
So if you're going camping, if you're going to the beach, Halo Pint, that's right.
You got it.
You got it. You can take it anywhere. Like I said, if you're going somewhere awesome, if you want to drive somewhere and then have ice cream, that is your option. Actually pretty cool. 4 hours, I agree. 4 hours, pretty impressive. Lamb took it to the beach with us the other day. We're all sitting there eating watermelon, and this goob's got freaking like cookie dough ice cream or something over there just ripping on it on the beach.
No. 4 hours in Florida, Paul.
45 minutes in Florida. No, Florida. Yeah. 4 hours in Florida. All right, so let's get into the show, man. Appreciate those shout-outs. A shout-out, Katie Mama's here as well. Appreciate you tuning in. And Katie, I love that. Love people that tune in every single time. Let's get it going here. We always, on this show, like to start off with some positive news. And like I said to Lamb, there is some suppression. No, just kidding. But there is a lot of positive news that you guys don't hear about. 2 stories today have to do with polling, but we really... it's one of those things where, I guess, 30 years ago, man, there really was never complaints. You just went somewhere and you voted. Now, with the COVID and everything, it really is kind of an actual issue. Like, I want to go vote, but where do you go? So, really cool things happened this weekend.
So your boy Schwarzenegger out there, he is, apparently a voting fanatic, as he put it himself. He was, in case those don't know, he was actually governor of California, Republican governor. Wants to make sure that any polling place that said it was closing due to budgetary reasons could be open, and he offered to pay for whatever the costs would be to keep those polls open.
So not only just keep them open, he's going to pay for it to stay open.
Yeah,
right?
with his own money.
Very cool. Okay, very
He said,
cool.
which also surprised me. He said he's worth $400 million. Doesn't surprise me when they say that number, but then you just realize, like,
Yeah, it's like I guess
he's got enough.
He probably made all of it like early on, and that it's funny because
And then invested and did stuff with it.
if he was like as famous as he was then, if he was as famous now as he was then, and I'm not saying he's not, but let me rephrase that. If he was as active, like in movies and everything, he'd be a billionaire. Yeah, because he was in every single blockbuster for 10 years, so
easily. Yeah, and they just weren't making as much as they're making now.
Right, for sure. So he has agreed to so keep the polls open. I love that. So he's basically telling people, get out there.
Do it now.
Yeah, get out there, do it now. Pay people.
Vote, do it now.
Yeah, so when they ask you who you're voting for.
Answer the question.
Yeah, go to the polls and answer that question.
Arnold out there killing the game.
Yeah, he's here on the show with us right now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we are California folks, so, he appreciates what we do.
That's right. He's probably listening to the show right now. Arnold's a huge listener. All right, what's the number 2 story?
Number 2 story is just kind of a shout out, sort of, to the NBA.
Uh-huh.
Every single NBA stadium has offered themselves up to be a polling place in the city that they exist in.
That's really cool.
Every single one. I just thought that was such, like, of all, like, the major sports that were kind of seemed like slow to react, NBA seems like it went from being refusing to ever say anything about anything to constantly, like, till you can put whatever you want on the back of your jersey, like, use your social media, use your platforms, speak your mind. Here's the stadiums, here's the things. We're giving you polling places, and I really love it.
I do too. I think it's kind of funny to me that I guess the stadiums have never been used for polling places before. I don't know why.
Never needed to. I think for the distancing, like, it probably is a huge pain in the ass to have a giant polling place.
For sure.
Which exit? Which entrance? It's hard enough to get into an NBA game.
For sure. I just think that, like, location-wise, at least, I mean, I've been to a lot of stadiums. I've lived in a lot of states. They tend to be in convenient places in the sense of, like, a lot of people can get to them. Inconvenient in the sense of, like, parking is usually a pain in the ass. Stuff
They're
like that,
usually not by where people live,
right?
Purposefully.
But again, it is a place that people don't mind. Hey, I know where that is. I know I could park 20 minutes. People will go to something like that because they know exactly where it is. It's easy to get to. It's probably easy for them to. At that point, like you said, maybe there is probably easy directions to go inside. I go in here, I vote, and I get out. So I think it's really cool.
I'm sure they could put up, like, hundreds of different things. Go to any of these, like, just roll in any entrance, go in, sign up, go poll.
Love it.
How dope would it be if, like all the actual, like, voting machines were on the stadium floor?
That would be
so
great.
you, like, roll in, you just get to, like, kind of feel like
that's actually true.
That would be cool too.
That would actually encourage people to vote, right? Like, if I could go to my stadium, if I could go to Lakers
every now
Center,
and then they're just, like, over the PA, like, you rock,
that would be
just,
great.
like, pumping in music,
If I was
like,
in the
just, like,
Staples
keeping people busy, like, listening
Yeah.
to something while they wait.
I would like that. If I was in the Staples Center and I got to vote there, that would probably that would probably entice a lot of people to vote.
I'm thinking about snack shops open.
No, they're not going to.
Why not?
Because
I'm waiting in, like, a 6-hour line, and now I got snacks available to me.
It's already a 6-hour line.
I'm just saying. Like, they were saying, like, polling places might be crazy, but
Yeah.
but I'm saying I definitely am willing to wait in a line a little longer if I know I can get, like, a hot dog while I'm waiting.
I would say this: they probably have like 1 or 2 places open because they can't afford to bring everybody in. But all
Yeah.
right, let's move on.
All right,
let's
I
move
just
on.
love it.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's cool. The basketball stadium's helping people out, but we got a lot of good stories I want to get to
All right,
today.
next one. Let me get to that.
Yeah, the
before
final good story. Like I said, if you guys are new to the show and you've never joined us before, every single show we like to start with, like I said, some articles that maybe you missed and something that's people doing good, man. Honestly, I feel like it gets lost, and for me, I crave information on somebody that is overcoming or trying to do something great in this world because it really does seem like everybody's at each other's throats. So Lamb found this story, and I thought it was really cool. Go ahead, Lamb. Drop this.
All
one
right,
for
so
us.
yeah. So California passed a bill allowing former inmates, only nonviolent former inmates, to become firefighters. Now, for those that don't know, a lot of the major wildfires in California are actually fought by prison inmates. They are given the option to get paid to fight these fires and get out of prison, like for the time that they're fighting the fires and stuff like that.
I did not know that before we read this. I didn't know that inmates. Well, I didn't know. I knew inmates were allowed like work release. I didn't know that firefighting was one of those positions. I mean, I've only ever seen like
they don't do. It's weird because they're not usually in charge of actual firefighting, but they dig ditches, fire breaks, and stuff like that, and help out and like really just like.
But the pay is really low, right?
$2 to $5 a day.
Okay, if you're
but
on work release.
It's weird, but it's sad to say, but that is a huge step up in what they can earn actually at the prison doing work.
Okay. So
like it's like 2 to 5 times as much as they can earn.
If I was in jail for a long time and I got to go out in the woods, and even if I was digging a ditch or fighting a fire, I wouldn't really care about the pay at that point. You're probably some camaraderie with some guys. You're out there, it's almost, probably a much better time than just sitting inside something. So
but yeah, so they are saying like these guys can use the training they've gotten as kind of like a springboard and actually apply to become firefighters and EMTs.
Very cool. I can't stress enough how I think early on, I mean, even for me, I mean, I was a knucklehead. I grew up with knuckleheads, and the amount of times that I could have gotten in real trouble compared to the times that I actually got in real trouble is like 100 to 1, you know? So it's like, and Paul in the chat can attest to this. There was a lot of times that we should have been in big trouble, but we weren't. My point to that is only this. Had I gotten in really big trouble, had any of my friends gotten in really big trouble, all of a sudden you have this stain from just being a knucklehead kid or even a 20-year-old. I mean, somebody that still hasn't figured out life. You do something stupid, you steal a candy bar, you break into somebody's house, do anything that maybe you really shouldn't do and you were just led the wrong way. You go in jail. It is really tough once you get out to try and find yourself a path. And this is really cool because you actually earn the training, so to speak, while you're in, and then when you get out, you maybe even have some connections, people people that can say, hey, I can vouch for this guy. He worked hard when he was here. So a very cool little avenue for these people to take once they get out. I thought it was a cool story.
Yeah, we looked it up. Average firefighter pay $50,000.
Paul said we should have spent time in jail. I agree. A lot of shenanigans, and as over the course of the show, I'm sure we will tell all of those stories because I love those stories. All right, so let's move on to our first. I was gonna say big story, but it's not
This is an earth-shattering. This is a life-altering.
Not that way.
This is a issue that has plagued humanity.
Incorrect.
For like 20 years.
Okay, good. Now that's the last part that is correct. I was really hoping you'd say like 1,000 years.
Since the dawn of time.
No. This story came across both of our news feeds, and we immediately knew it was perfect for the show. If you guys have not heard this story, even if you have heard this story, it's still a great story to kind of touch on. A man recently in Lincoln, Nebraska. This is going to surprise you, but I have been to Lincoln, Nebraska, and I have not. I have spent a week there. Beautiful college, lovely place. A man in Lincoln, Nebraska, was so fed up with the fact that boneless wings are called wings that he actually went to a city council meeting and had himself a fit up there. So
demanded there be changes made.
Before we get into the even argument of it, can we at least show this guy giving his pitch here?
All right,
I love this guy.
Here he is. So we'll give him his just due. We'll go full screen.
We'll go full screen. We're trying not to play the whole video. The whole video is 3 minutes long. We'll probably play a minute of it for you guys just so you can see what's going on with this.
Hopefully it'll come through.
Yeah, let me know if you guys can hear the sound. No. Right. Maybe you gotta do the thing where you.
No, weird.
Oh, there you go. You're right.
Now, I will say, this guy's got a point right here.
What's that? Throwing. Oh yeah.
These words don't have meaning.
They're just making.
It's literally a made-up thing.
Let me also say by this: if you're listening to this show, this guy, long hair, well dressed. He's got a suit on, a dress shirt on. His tie though is hamburgers. Let's point that out. That's freaking awesome.
I didn't notice that. I appreciate him going with the food theme because maybe he's a food expert.
He comes in here arguing about buffalo wings and he shows up in a hamburger tie. I freaking love it.
I mean, if you don't have a chicken wing tie, you got to go hamburger.
Our chat is already upset. It's true. Boneless wings are just chicken nuggets.
Chicken tender. We're gonna get deep. We're gonna get deep on this. All right, so we're gonna keep going. Now this lady behind him, keep an eye on her.
Actually, you can actually hear laughter in the background, and it's not her. So there's multiple people there.
Dude, yeah.
We were- Love from our hearts,
Yeah.
dude. Just from our being as human beings. Is there anything else he says that's important? Oh, here we go. Oh, fire. Right to come.
Straight facts.
If you
Spitting facts.
if you show up at a city council in a hamburger tie, you better at least bring some damn facts to this
Yeah.
table. And he immediately starts shooting. Or what else he got?
Boo.
That's right. Boneless
Guy.
auto repair is great. Okay, so I think that's pretty much the gist of it, right?
Yeah, that's the gist.
That's the gist. He urges the city council to remove this name. Now, at first, when I first was introduced to this story, it made me laugh, but I was not up in arms. I was just like, yeah, this is a guy being a knucklehead. And I'm sure he knew that this would get some kind of view. I'm sure he knew exactly what would happen when he did
One
it.
side fact, I don't know if people know. At the very end of this, I don't know if it's in this video or everything, one of the city council member goes, that's my son.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is hilarious.
So I thought
Okay,
that was
so
great.
he even knows how this whole thing
Yeah,
works.
so he's
Okay.
intimately familiar with how to present the information,
Yes.
what to do, the process, how much time he gets, what he's allowed to say and not say.
Yeah. Okay, so again, I was shown the story. I wasn't that upset. And then as me and Lamb continued to discuss it, it did start to bother me because it bothered me for a lot of reasons. One, let's just start here. Hey, missing all my B. I appreciate the follow there. Thanks for welcoming to the show. If you're new, appreciate it. If from right off the jump, do you like boneless wings?
I mean, I like chicken nuggets. I like tenders. Okay,
But here's my thing though. I know this sounds like the same, but I actually don't like boneless wings, and I'll tell you why. Chicken nuggets, at least most chicken nuggets, are a thin breading of almost just a crisp.
Yeah.
Right. Not even really, a fried chicken, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean, just fried chicken, but it's
Yeah.
not what I'm thinking. Fried chicken. Chicken tenders are a thicker, crispy.
tend to be longer, like
breaded. Heavy. Even an actual
chicken
wing.
fingers.
Chicken fingers, similar chicken tenders,
Tenders,
but
but yeah.
still long. Popcorn chicken. Now, again, it's very similar to, I would say, boneless wings, but
I'd
just
say it's
smaller.
probably the closest.
It's the closest. But here's my biggest problem with boneless wings. First off, if you get an actual chicken wing, the fact that I can order a dozen wings, it doesn't come fried like that.
No.
Right? Like, unless they have fried wings, you get them like that. But most time, if you go somewhere, it's like a crispy skin that's been
It's
fried.
just the chicken that's been fried.
Right, correct. It's not battered or tossed in flour. So again, already you're kind of have a misnomer with that begin with, because I think that's not the same thing. But then on top of that, every boneless wing I've ever had to sit through is like an inch of the freaking flour and grease. It is like, and then you get like a Skittles worth of chicken in the middle, and it's like this crunch of grossness, and I hate it.
Now, I think the biggest issue people always have is that it says chicken wings.
Okay, sorry, I just want to shout out. Kyle, what's up, here, brother? Sorry, I just know there's somebody that follows. Kyle, what's up, brother? Welcome in, buddy. Go ahead.
But if
Chicken tender is actual cut of meat from chicken, just FYI. So you're saying
there's chicken tender loins.
chicken tender loins.
And then I think if you bread those and fry those are where chicken tenders come from.
Good. Okay. Good piece of information.
So I think that's where that's from. But you had this discussion off air. If you're told to come to a Super Bowl party, and they're like, "Yo, we got 100 wings. Don't worry, food." And you roll up there, and there's boneless wings. That's not.
I'm furious.
Yeah,
I one time told my older brother that I was bringing home ice cream, and just to piss him off when I got home, I told him I got ice cream, and he said, "Oh, what'd you get?" And I told him I got a lime sherbet in the freezer. The amount of actual hate in his eyes switched so fast, and I said, "Oh, so what's wrong?" He's like, "That's not ice cream." Right? I immediately bust out laughing. I'm like, I didn't get that. We got like cookie dough or something. He started laughing. He said, "You really told me that you got ice cream, brought home sherbet. Do you realize that's not the same?" Vehemently upset.
even frozen yogurt. I'm still mad. Like you didn't like if I said, "Hey, grab me a pint of ice cream."
Yes.
Like Ben and Jerry's.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool. And then you come back with Ben and Jerry's Froyo.
It is kind of an insult.
It's different.
It's different.
It's not what I asked for.
It's not what I asked for. I would say that's closer to ice cream than sherbet is.
Still,
but
but I'm saying like it's still like you're like that's not what I asked
now,
for.
like to your point, if I show up at a Super Bowl party and they say, "Yo, we got wings, we got this, we got that," and I'm like, "Yo, how many wings you got?" You're like, "Oh, it's like only 10 of us, but we got like 150 wings." You're like, "Boss, I'm in there. I'm about to tear shit up." You get there and it's boneless wings. I literally might have 3, and I'm gonna just be like, "I hate this.
I'm just disappointed.
I'm disappointed." Not okay. So now, on to my real argument. They charge boneless wings at a similar increment as actual wings. So if you went to get now this is wildly different, but I know this only because it's an outrageous deal. You could go to Burger King right now and get 10 wings for $1. 10 nuggets for $1.49.
8. I think it's actually 8 for $1 right now.
Okay, so 8 for $1. 8 for $1, right? But you go to get wings. They're almost $1 a wing now, most places. Shout out, if we live in California, so wings are not cheap anywhere. But if in the chat, if y'all have someplace, shout out like what's your best wing meal you go to. Don't be outrageous. Do you guys have does anybody still have like a 25-cent wing night? I know a place right here does 50 cent, but I have not. Like in college, they used to have a 10-cent wing night, and it was like, I would bankrupt this place. But again, now I don't see anything less than maybe $1, maybe 75 cents a wing.
You see like a 75, you're like, ooh.
That's a steal.
Yeah.
You see 75 cents a wing, you're stealing it, right? And I actually, I don't know if I've said this on the air before, but I actually spoke to a guy when I used to work at my old job when we did the food testing. I spoke to the owner of Los Angeles Poultry. He's the guy that pretty much for maybe a 20-mile radius supplies all chicken for Los Angeles. And I asked him directly, I said, I'm just curious, is the chicken wing something that you guys are just charging more because it's in more demand and you can make more for it? Or really is it the point where you're actually short on them and he's like, "Oh, we're short on them." And I was like, "Really?" He's like, "There's only 2 wings per bird, man. What are we supposed to do
4?
with the..." Yeah, yes, technically, but he said, "But what am I supposed to do?" He said, the amount that wings that people want compared to actual chickens is not equivalent. So he said people want more wings than they want breasts. And so,
you get an order of 10, that's what? 2.5 chickens worth?
Right. So exactly. So he's like, exactly.
You imagine eating 2.5 chickens worth of chicken breast?
I'm saying, and if I would go to that 10-cent wing night, I'd order 15 without even blinking, and sometimes I go 20. So you're looking at like 4, 5, 6 birds I'm going through just for my one ranch and blue cheese extravaganza I'm bashing it. So again, there's that. But again, back to my point of, if you go to get boneless wings, they'll go, "Oh, there's a deal on those. Real wings, they're you get 12 for $12. But if you want boneless, you can get 12 for $10. And then in your head, you think, "Man, I'm getting a deal." But you're actually getting screwed because you're not getting boneless wings. And they're not wings, right? Like wings imply something, right?
Actual meat, the ground meat, product processed. It's boneless wings are like the soda dispenser. Mm-hmm. They're upcharged to no level.
Right.
To this insane level of what they actually cost.
For sure.
They come pre-made. They're not making them there.
No.
They're frozen things, not fresh.
Nope.
Just thrown in a fryer and covered in sauce.
It's disgusting. I'm out on it. I like this, guys. I like what's going on. And it's one of these things where, every now and again, I feel like something is pushed on people, and no matter who I talk to, they don't like it, and I'm always confused on who's pushing it. This is an example of, I know who's pushing this. The businesses are pushing this, and the chicken people are pushing this. Everybody but the actual consumer is pushing this because it's cheap, it's easy to manufacture, and now they don't need so many actual chicken wings. And I do understand that. I guess that part is tough. But I just personally think there's got to be a better solution. If you really don't have enough wings, there's got to be a way to make something that's similar without just completely giving me a popcorn chicken nug that I hate.
I know. It's like, I don't dislike popcorn chicken.
No, I like popcorn chicken.
I don't dislike chicken nuggets.
No, I like chicken nuggets.
I like a good chicken tender every now and then or whatever.
But I'm not paying you wing price for it. Right.
That's my thing. If you said, you can get real wings and they're, $12 for 10. Or we got even if you want to call them boneless wings, I really have a problem with it initially, no matter what. But you call them popcorn chicken, I'm a little better with it. And you're like, we got these jumbo popcorn poppers or whatever, and they're $5. Mm-hmm. I'm in.
Yeah,
I like your sauces. I'm in. I get
great.
it.
Sounds great.
It's a reasonable price. Mm-hmm. But because you put the word wings in it, you get some sort of crazy upcharge tax that I'm. And then they're like, Buffalo Wild Wings is running it's wing day, wing special.
Day, yeah.
Buy one, get one free. And you're like, oh.
But now it's boneless.
But only boneless.
Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday. One of them is boneless real wings, and one of them is boneless. One of those is I'm sorry. Let's start that again. One of those nights is 50-cent wings. One of them is 50-cent boneless wings. Again, you can't put those in the same category, and I think they're doing it on purpose, so that we think like, oh, we're getting a deal on boneless wings, and it's like, no, you're getting screwed every time you buy boneless wings. They're just happy that you're even buying all that flour from them. I'm sure, you know.
You're literally I'm paying for flour and seasoning.
All right, so overall on the wing here,
Boo!
yeah, that's right.
On the boneless wings,
That's right, on the boneless wing.
The regular wing, I'm all in.
I'm all in on a regular wing. Okay, so because of that story, me and Lamb off air kind of went down a rabbit hole, and that caused us to want to share this rabbit hole. Lamb, me were curious, not if any. Well, I guess let's start with: is there any other foods that are mislabeled in your mind?
So no, it made me more think. My first thing was like other things that they're like just charging in their weird names, like for things. You're like, what is that?
Yeah,
like
right.
Boneless wing. Like you're like, how is a wing boneless?
Right.
My first thought was first off, I think in my brain, the first time I ever saw boneless wings on a menu or anywhere was at Applebee's.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they invented it or if they just popularized it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They also have this thing at Applebee's called riblets. All you can eat riblets.
Is it now? Do you think it comes from ribs?
My always hope. This is what I hope is what riblets are, is like, you know how when you get a rack of ribs and it's all like straight across and everything, that there's some sort of machine, because ribs aren't even, that they're trimming off a little bit. Yeah. And it's really thin or whatever, and they're just cooking that they used to just junk or turn into hot dogs or whatever they used to do with it. I don't know. But like the idea that like, because you can't go to a store and buy a riblet.
No, you can't say I'll take 12 riblets. No.
No, but you can buy every now
McDonald's
and then.
McRib, right? Like back in the days, they had that McRib, and it was like
it's just formed in the shape of a rib patty.
Yeah, but if you actually eat it, it doesn't really
there
taste
are no
like
bones.
There's no bones, but it doesn't taste like ribs anyway. It tastes kind of gross. It tastes like ground up chicken is what it tastes like.
It didn't even taste like pork that it was supposedly was.
You take a bite of a rib, you know you took a bite of a rib, right? Like there's just something different to that. So, also we thought of sweetbreads.
Yeah, sweetbreads was an interesting one.
So there's sweetbreads. If you're not a cook,
let's give the chat. If anybody in the chat thinks they have, or first off, have you had them, or what do you think they are?
Sweetbreads. We're talking about sweetbreads here. Yeah, if you guys know what a sweetbread is, put it in the chat, because it's not actually what you think it is. And if you don't cook a lot, or if you don't watch cooking shows a lot, you would not know exactly what it is. But I am curious to see what people think. All right, what's another one that we thought, though?
Rocky Mountain oysters.
So that one's a little bit more common, right?
It's big in like Colorado area and stuff like that.
Rocky Mountain oysters. You think you're getting seafood, but Lamb, what are you actually getting?
You're getting bull testicles on that one.
Okay, bull testicles. That's
right. Bull testicles, and first off, are way bigger than you think they are. And then they take them and slice them. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you're talking like fucking egg.
Softball?
Like probably like ostrich egg. Like it's out of control.
And then they take that Wilhelm scream for right there.
And then they slice them thin and then batter them and deep fry them. Like,
okay,
so they look kind of like potato chips, but thick, or maybe like fried pickles.
Decent.
I guess they're decent enough.
Yeah,
like they sell them.
Yeah. So okay, isn't sweetbread from the throat of a cow? Kind of close, Paul. And maybe you are hitting it dead on. But a sweetbread is it's a culinary name for the thymus or the pancreas of a calf or a lamb. So they call it sweetbread. But like Lamb said, a lot of times it's reserved for like parts of the brain or the pancreas, and it's this mushy organ, and they call them sweetbreads. If you've never had sweetbreads and somebody told you, after dinner we're having sweetbreads, I'd be super pumped. And they roll out that and be like, wait a minute, what do I eat?
We start, our appetizer sweetbreads. You're like, that's an odd appetizer, but I'll try it.
Let's roll it.
Thinking it's like, bread pudding or flan or something, or like.
I don't like flan either, but
I'm just saying. Then you're like, this sounds a little weird.
I hear you. So sweetbreads has to be an animal organ. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just a weird title for something. Again, not. I would say not as egregious as boneless wing, but it is something that I think it's a very poor name for something. And I know why like you said, I know why they call it that, because nobody wants to eat pancreas. But sweetbreads is just
I'm also thrown off by all this popcorn version. Like, why are things popcorned?
It's not like
covered in popcorn or anything.
Popcorn's not fried anyway.
Yeah, it's like popcorn chicken, popcorn shrimp. Like.
Yeah, popcorn's not fried anyway. All right, what else do we got? Is there anything else that we thought was interesting that was misnamed?
Well, there's the ones that we were wondering if these are on purpose or just poorly named.
Okay, so that's right. That did kind of lead us down a rabbit hole. Let me throw this up on the screen for you guys here.
boom.
We started looking at, like I said, opportunities where companies had misbranded or misnamed something, and it actually took us down a pretty funny hole here. So the first one you see there, if you're at home looking, it is a pair of gloves that you would buy your kid, like a pair of,
So they could dress up like the Predator.
like they could dress up like the Predator, except they called them child predator hands. So it sounds like Chris Hansen started this company, and he decided that he was gonna make some gloves. They're really cool looking gloves. The name is just as poor as it gets, though. Child predator hands. They could just be called predator hands. I don't even know if child needs to be in there.
Even if it said child sized.
Yeah, that's true. Child size predator hands. That would make it better. You're right. What else do we got here?
Some are better than others. Nads.
Nads. That's pretty. Yeah.
We're not going to go with that one. Here we go.
Soup for sluts.
So some of these I am assuming are just poor translations of like what they were in some other language.
So
this is ramen, instant ramen noodles. It's cheap, fast, and easy.
Gosh, could it be any worse of a cover?
And then it's soup for sluts.
It's soup for sluts. Okay.
Now, I really hope there's somebody who actually speaks English at the company, and like they just give him all the translation jobs.
What
and
would
he's
you,
just
what
like,
would the word maybe be close to? What were they reaching for?
like easy soup, like easy, something like easy,
Oh,
easy for like I'm guessing. I'm
maybe,
just like
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, maybe if somebody that they
Something
said,
everyone likes, soup everyone likes.
what is easy, and then that just came up,
Yeah.
and they just went for that. Okay, and then right below that we have some
tropical strength?
tropical. Oh, well, that's not even topical. Okay, so
No.
tropical strength.
Yeah, well, for the tropical tropics,
It's insect repellent,
Yeah.
so that makes sense. Okay.
it's whack off. Maxi strength DEET, as used by the armed forces. Apparently, the armed forces use whack off.
Okay. So I will say this. As far as branding goes, this is maybe the only one that I think is a really good idea.
Yeah, it makes me stop and look at
It
it.
makes me stop and look at it. It's meant to be funny. It's not an item that you would see like in a food store where kids would run into
Yeah.
it. And like I said, even it's used by the armed forces, right? So
I do love it says not to be used on children under 5 years old.
that's really creepy.
That's
Yeah,
really not necessary,
Yeah.
but necessary.
So love it. You got to get your whack off.
So here's this one. In case you're a smoker, instead of like flicking your cigarette out when you're done with it and being, a litter bug or whatever, we have the butt buddy. So it's a little caddy. You put your cigarette butt in it and boom. Or if you're not fully done with the cigarette, you can actually put it in there and smoke the other half later.
Wow. So cigarette butt buddy.
Yeah.
They again, okay, but oh man, butt buddy.
I think they're doing it on purpose.
Right, I was gonna say this one again seems like it's on purpose. I actually think as far as cigarette smokers, maybe I don't know many cigarette smokers that only smoke half a cigarette anyway. But
My grandfather used to.
I also don't know any cigarette smokers that want to carry around one cigarette for like that one time they need a cigarette. Most of the time they're just carrying the whole pack. Butt buddy. But people are anal about their cigarettes.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I see what you did.
Boo. Just immediately went for the boo button.
My dad's nuts. This one's just kind of, I feel like, for fun.
Yeah, love it. That's obviously on purpose.
This one, I think, is just an unfortunate thing.
SARS.
SARS.
Not a great. Was that a soda? That's awful. Urinal.
Yeah, I have a feeling this is a company. It looks like it's a company that's non-English, and and I'm sure that's just how it is in their country. But here it doesn't work.
It's not going to be a popular brand here. Not going to
Urinal hot drink.
Oh yeah. That's.
Get it. We'll skip that one.
Mr. Brains.
That wasn't the problem.
Oh,
The
okay.
green was the problem.
Oh. Wow! Yeah, we can't say that on
Yep.
there, but there's an F word in there that you guys would know that.
And we'll say fuck.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that should tell you what F word it
yeah,
is.
Bundle of sticks there.
Shitto. Some shitto. What's it? Something
Spiced pepper.
Yeah, Thai spiced pepper sauce.
Oh, it's pepper sauce. Shitto.
Yeah.
It literally sounds like. I think it might be a laxative.
Yeah, maybe like shito.
You put some of that sauce in this stuff, and you will shit yourself. Great stuff. All right.
This is my last one. This is the one I brought up to you before when we were talking about.
What is this?
This is a candy that was marketed in the late 70s, early 80s. So it's supposed to help you lose weight. It's supposed to help you reduce pain, vitamins, minerals, all this stuff. It's called AIDS. AIDS.
Now, you did explain to me off air that this was
Just before.
right before the AIDS actually was introduced
Epidemic,
in the 80s. So this was. Can you imagine? You work all this time, you come up with a brand, and you come up with this idea. And the
People worked at this company.
I'm saying you put out this item, and then like within months, like an actual disease comes out with the same name as your item, and it's a horrible disease that has horrible implications that everybody hates, and your company's named after that. Even if you're
Like Corona.
right, kind of, yes.
Except they're somehow embracing it.
I think they're gonna survive. Yeah, AIDS helps you turn down a turnover. What?
So she's saying no because she doesn't need it because the the candy helps her like keep with her weight and stuff like that. But yeah, there's so many.
Yeah, that's kind of. You can see the translation on that.
Yep.
Vagina.
Yeah.
Well, it's a beer named Vagina, not vagina.
There
Vagina.
you go. That one's for you.
Just poo.
Just poo.
just sticks of poo. All right, let's move on. We've had our fun.
All right.
We've had our fun. Yeah, it just took us down a rabbit hole and we were laughing.
There's so many, guys. Feel free to look on your own.
Yeah.
We couldn't even come close. We could have done probably 2 hours of just going through them.
But
There's so many of them.
We were having a blast
Oh
off
my
air laughing
God.
at them, so we thought we'd.
Yeah, if you have any favorites that you just think are hilarious. We also said like Spotted Dick, if you've ever heard of that. That's a product in England. I believe it's like a spiced cake with raisins in it or something like that.
Awful name.
And it comes in a can, which
Now,
I think is hilarious.
Spotted Dick is a duck, and that's what they're naming after. Is that right?
I don't know.
We'll find that out later on. We're 2 dumb idiots, so we don't know what the hell we're talking about anyway. All right, let's move on here. We have a bunch of subjects we want to get to. We just thought that was so damn funny. What was it? Oh, that's right. Okay, so this is a little bit. This is a story that I wanted to bring to you guys. You want to throw that up for them?
Yeah.
Do I? Nah, no, I don't care if you do. So if you guys had another story, this is a weird story, but it was something that I thought I just was curious what people's opinions were outside of me. So the University of California was in a lawsuit battle because they have been sued by a group of parents. Actually, I had to look that part up. There's like 6 group of parents, like a coalition that formed together to be the prosecuting side or whatever. And they were saying that the SATs and the ACTs, on top of the fact that they're socio and economically unfair based on just historical evidence, they're saying it's unfair because of the COVID issue. They're saying that quite literally, and even the article even actually backs this up. The article goes on to say that it is actually surprisingly difficult right now in a lot of areas to even find a place to take an SAT or an ACT. There is just not that many places doling them out. There's not that many places that you can get it done. And
Fun fact, I am the testing coordinator at my school.
right, for SATs?
SATs, AP, everything.
Okay.
State tests, everything.
Right, so
I actually know this stuff.
right. So
And
you can see like the problem here.
yeah, the problem is they'll let like a guy like me be trusted with your child's
Yeah,
future.
that's correct.
And but we're having. That sounds like the parents every time I'm talking a meeting. But like the problem is like, yeah, they actually like we have kids at school like that are supposed to be taking these things or like taking APs and they've had to like change the tests or like their online tests. And some of them like they're not allowing SATs or PSATs to be taken as online tests.
Paul wants to know why they let the PE teacher handle all of that.
Have you met me?
I have, and I still have the same question.
Yeah, probably because I'm the only person at the school that seems to be able to handle huge amounts of people at once in like chaotic situations.
Gotcha. So again, their argument again, like Lamb said, is that that his place does have a testing center, but they're not everywhere, and is very
we can't
right.
test right now. We're not allowed to.
Okay, so
because we don't know because we're online. They're only doing tests in person.
Right.
So we're not allowed to take the test because our school can't host the test.
So there you go. So even further to that point, Lamb School can't do it, and there's a lot of places that can't do it. So what they're arguing is that it gives an unfair advantage to kids that have already had the test taken, that have already submitted it, because quite literally, if you're somebody that let's say I put in my resume and I don't have an SAT, and Lamb puts in his resume, and our let's say our grades are very similar, our academics our outside activities are very similar, and then all of a sudden Lamb has this moderately decent SAT score, and I don't have any SAT score because I couldn't take it. Whether the university wants to admit it or not, they are going to lean towards you, and that's just what they're saying. They said
it's just another reason to choose you.
It provides a very unfair balance to the kids that have already had it taken and can use their scores. And what were you were going to?
I just got this. This is for Paul.
Oh.
Boo!
That's for your comment, Paul.
Oh, you're just booing Paul?
Yeah.
Since we got the button, let's just boo his ass.
Yeah, since we got the button, I'm going to use it.
All right.
But yeah, no, it is for sure a tough situation to be in because we were talking about it. The schools have to decide. Like, schools generally get more applications than they have spots for of qualified applicants. We're not talking people like, oh, you barely passed every class your entire time. Yeah, you're not getting into Harvard. That's an easy decision.
Right.
But they're getting so many people that are qualified in every way. Mm-hmm. How do you make those choices?
Right. And again, that's something that I don't have the answer to. I guess extracurriculars, I'm sure a lot of people are doing that. And I think it is going to be a much tighter process of letting students in because you don't have these tests. But one thing that I've argued, and I'm actually going to tell the same story that I told here to off air because I think it's important because I think it really does. It, for me, is the only thing that really, truly changed my mind on the SATs. I don't think I'm a dumb guy. I think my vocabulary is average. My math skills were always above average in high school and middle school. I was very good at math. But that being said, my SAT scores were very middle of the road. I told Lamb this story off air, and I think it really shows why the SATs, to some people, is very considered unfair. When I was in high school, I was a part of a group called Destination Imagination. It was a group where we did acting, we built sets, we had to write our own scripts, and then we had to perform, we had to improv, we did all this stuff. It was a really great. I got really great practice for this, but really great practice for anything in life. We got to, like I said, compete, and that's actually where we went to Lincoln, Nebraska. We all did sorts of cool stuff for this. But one of the things that was kind of obvious to me when I was there was, sorry, let me state this. Let me start this again. When I did that activity, we used to have to go to the one girl's house because we had to at least prepare all of this stuff at somebody's house. She volunteered to do it at her house. Her dad was our coach. Now, this person was very nice. The girl, Ashley, was very, very sweet. Her dad was very, very nice. But they were a slightly affluent family. They lived in a nicer neighborhood. Their house was a little bit nicer. Very nice people, but they were a little bit well off than most of my friends. When I was at these meetings, when I was at these events, we were practicing, the dad was very well educated. And the dad would consistently use superfluous, grandiose-sounding words in the training, and he would constantly just throw them in naturally, and they would just kind of pepper out of his mouth the entire time I was there. His sentences were formed better. As far as humans go, he was very well-spoken, and if you spent an hour with him, you probably could take something from just listening to him speak. My point with that was, if that girl goes to take a test and she goes to the literature section, and the literature section, at least back in my day, was very vocabulary heavy, she is quite naturally, just because of her upbringing, going to destroy somebody else that doesn't have a dad that speaks that way. So and again, it's not, somebody could say, well, yeah, you could read books to get, yeah, you could read books to learn that vocabulary. You could go and study. But my point is, even if she never studied, that is where the unfairness is. She's just going to be better. Now, you could say, okay, yeah, but if your dad's a track athlete, then you have those skills, and that makes you right. Okay, but you still have to work towards something. This is, something that, again, gives a lot of certain kids very unfair advantages. I will also say this. I've got a lot of family members that speak very, very well, right? But I've got friends and family member friends and stuff that they slang a lot. And I'm from Southern Maryland, right? Like we slang a little bit of this, or ain't this, and we y'all that, and we do all sorts of things that aren't really correct. It is part of the way we speak. Now, I go to a test, I'm actually struggling to figure out what the correct version of that sentence is because I've heard a million different people say it a million different ways, and only one of them is the correct way. So you can start to see how much of a bind that puts somebody in that maybe is not from the socioeconomic class as somebody else. Yeah, so pretty much from high school on, started to understand that the SAT and the ACT does have its flaws. It really is aimed at a certain generation. And actually, I off air did a little research on myself, and I looked over, and this isn't really surprising, but over and over and over for years and years and years, the top 10% of the SATs almost exclusively belong to households of 200 grand or above. It is a almost completely dominated section of the test. If your household makes over 200 grand, that is almost entirely the top 10% of the SATs is that section. Now there's some anomalies in there. There's some 1% is not that way, but almost all of it is people over 200,000. Now the bottom half of the SATs, the bottom 20% is almost exclusively people that make the family household is $20,000 or less. So obviously that would make sense. You know, if you have better parents, maybe they can pay for better education and better tutoring and all that kind of stuff, and private tutors, probably things like that. But that's the point, is that it's not a fair test, and we really don't know who's smarter because somebody's getting trained and somebody's getting better education, and that's not even without talking about the middle schools they went to or the high schools they went to.
That's
right?
like saying, we're going to figure it out, and we're going to play ping pong.
Right.
But you don't know, like some people just never get to play ping pong.
Yeah. Never.
Some people get private tutors to play ping pong.
Right.
Yeah, there's going to be somebody who's never played ping pong before. They can pick the paddle up and within 2 minutes be awesome at it.
They're going to be
And
a
they're
prodigy,
great,
right? Yeah.
But everybody who's practicing this and has done it and like has a ping pong table at home that they can practice it, they're all going to be better.
They're all going to be better. And again, that's because of the parents' means and their ability to give their child that. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but I am saying it is an advantage.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, you want to give your child advantages in life, but I think there already are plenty of advantages. I think them getting a better test score because they were born in a certain neighborhood is not something that you want in a college. So I think if the college is really looking for hard-working, driven individuals, then I think that they need to, again, maybe look a little bit outside of some standardized test.
Paul put something interesting in the chat. He said, if you're a college and you were a quote-unquote business, wouldn't you want to attract these people that come from families of over $200,000?
Of course you do. Right. I mean, of course you do.
So it's kind of one of those things like, maybe they like that the test skews that way.
It's all slanted that direction.
But I'm just saying, like, it's
right.
more actual money they can charge. They don't have to give scholarships. They don't have to give,
And what I forget what's
reduced pay or whatever.
The word's
financial aid.
The word's blanking on me. But what the people that like after they graduate college, they end up like
alumni.
They donate a lot of money.
Sponsors, boosters.
Boosters, right? So guys, they have a lot of these schools have like really big boosters. These people that are donating like $100,000 a year and stuff to like their sports program in the school and everything. Like you said, if you can get a child that the parent makes $400,000 a year, if you can bring that child into your school, you're really hoping, hey, this guy might turn out to be a booster and really bring this program up. Again, none of that should be in the deciding factor of whether that kid gets into that school or not.
And it's weird because it's like, if it's a private college, I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it should be open to anybody, and I believe in that. But as a public education, any publicly funded school, this should not be okay.
Right. And so that's why I said I understand the SAT and ACT has been used for a long time. And I guess I would have less of a problem with it if it was a very small portion of the consideration. But I know that firsthand when I was going to college, when I was applying for college, it was like there was like a massive list of colleges that I wasn't even allowed to apply to, right? Unless you have like a 1350 and beyond. And it's like, okay, like if you've really taken SAT at 1350, well, that was back in the 1600 days. But yeah, those
are my days too.
Right. Those scores are hard to achieve. And like I said, it's one of those things where if you haven't really been preparing, that's another thing. I went and I took the SATs and I got an okay score. My senior year, I took an SAT prep class, and they just kind of showed you like how the test was, and they gave you a little bit more vocabulary, and they showed you how to really strategically attack the ways, and they even kind of went over like if you really don't know the answer, it's actually better to leave it blank, and all these different ways to like really boost your score without dropping it. I went in, my score was 100 points better than the first time. 100 points. Now, was I any smarter 6 months later? Absolutely not, right? But
I mean, maybe like the barest of bare, like you knew like 3 new words from your class or
right,
whatever.
Right.
But yeah,
Again, exactly that. I probably took 5 new big sounding words into that test, and I'm sure that didn't give me 100 extra points. But just knowing the design and how it worked can really boost it. So again, there are just massive advantages to people that are informed, and the massive disadvantages if you're not informed. And so
what do you think the criteria should be based on?
Beer pong.
I would argue flip cup is more of a pure activity.
So if they're not going to include the SATs and they're not going to include the ACTs, obviously everybody's grades are going to be similar. You got to go to extracurricular activities. You got to see that. Maybe it's
But do they weigh certain extracurriculars different? Is like theater a bigger deal than like a sports team?
I don't know. I would say
because like in some schools, theater is a much longer commitment.
Right.
So maybe that to me is like a bigger deal.
Right.
Like you're willing to stick with something for 6 months versus
even grades or something that we talked about. It's like great, like one high school to the next. Like one high school is really easy, and the next high school could be very, very difficult. It's like even class to class. I told you I took an AP class my senior year, and I think 2 people in the entire class got an A, and everybody else got a B, C, or below. And it was like, it's really hard to ace that class. So again, you went somewhere else and took AP Literature. It might be a cakewalk, you know what I mean? So again, grades are even kind of left up to that. So I really don't know. I mean, here's my best idea. You need to put together like an Olympics.
Like a decathlon?
Yes. Yes. You need to do
So some academic, for sure.
something academic. You gotta
Something physical.
You gotta do like, all right, if John buys a keg and 4 30-packs of beer, and everybody
How many ounces is it?
No.
Go.
If everybody's drinking 8 ounces, and there's
And you
100
charge
people,
$5 at the door.
Right, yes.
How many people do you have to charge to make your money back?
Wow, there you go.
That's real college math right
yeah,
there.
that's real college math. You're gonna need that. So
Damn, that's snug.
that is snug math. So yeah, we could do that, and then it's gonna be everything.
I was thinking maybe like a beer farmer's carry. Like you got 2 30-packs, you got to be able to like carry it.
So a little fitness.
But you got to get it up the stairs without the RAC in it.
Boom. Okay, so that's it, and then
So you can't put them down.
can't put them down. There's got to be, you got to be able, we want to see if you can really do the college life. So you're going to have to stay up until like 6 in the morning partying. And then you need to show that you can be at that 8 a.m. history class.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're out. You're going to need, just the basic. No, I really don't know.
There's going to be like a treasure hunt on the campus map. You got to be able to read the campus map, know where all the things are.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know what they could do instead, but these are some of my ideas.
My thought would be you would have to submit a personal portfolio. Like an actual idea, like maybe more than one writing sample, like, but of things you choose,
Right.
not things they choose. Like, not here's your topic, write about it.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
like here's some things, and then submit some things that show us about you. Do you do art? Do you everything? Everybody has videos now.
Right.
Show us you doing the activities. Show us you doing the play. Show us you like things you're passionate about. You volunteering. Show us these things. Put together a portfolio. That shows us who you are.
Yeah. And then
submit that.
Yeah, send that in. Again, I don't have the perfect answer, but I do know that I am curious to see how they adjust, because I feel like the way that they adjust is they're going to try and lean back towards something that gives them richer students. That's like we just said. So I think we're going to see the answer is probably going to be something that I don't like. That's what I feel like.
I think the answer is they're going to just look at where the people are from and look at the data that they give them. Like household income is on the sheet, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's relevant, but yeah, I understand. Yeah.
I mean, it is for financial aid. Like you kind of have to put it in, but I don't feel like you should have to put that in until after you're either accepted or not accepted.
For sure. Yeah, just like I said, I'm just curious. I saw the article and I was talking to Lamb about it, and I was curious what you guys thought. There's something about it that really is interesting to me. It's a big 180 pivot from when I was in high. It's crazy to me that something that was deemed an absolute necessity to get into college is now 10 years later not even allowed to be considered, right? Like, and it's not even like, oh, well, like you said, it's not even like, oh, John can still take it and Jim can't. You are quite literally not even allowed to send it into the school anymore because they don't want, and that's specifically in California.
You think some people are accidentally going to have that attached?
I would put it in my writing sample.
Yeah.
And there I am with a 1600 SAT score. Yeah.
Woo!
Yeah.
So pumped
Does
about
it matter? No, but I did want to say it out loud.
Didn't want to be proud of my own accomplishments.
Now, back to my writing before I got sidetracked.
Back to my future plans.
Before I got sidetracked with my 1600 SAT score.
Just keep peppering it in.
Yeah. So it's like the year's 2000, not 1600, like my SAT score.
Historically, 1600 has not been a strong. It doesn't have any mathematical significance. 1600 divided by 800 and 800. Math and reading.
That sounds like an SAT score. Perfect.
Weird.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know what they're going to do, but I thought the story was really interesting. I am curious to see how it's handled. I am very curious to see what the new criteria is for bringing a
There's
student
going to
in.
be so much chaos for people not accepted to schools.
Right? Like, why was I not accepted? My grades are exactly the same
I'm
as his.
smarter than
Yeah,
this
yeah.
guy.
I do think it does force you to go into extracurriculars, and I will say this. As far as high school went...
It's rough right now. You can't do any.
True, super facts. Well, again, when we've talked about like going and cutting people's grass and doing something, and maybe do a cleanup or do something great in your neighborhood, start a fundraiser, do a, whatever, you could do a million different things. But when I was in high school, I thought extracurriculars were scary in the sense that, like, it's scary joining a club. It's scary joining something you don't know. It's scary committing to something that now you got to stay late for school and participate in. I got to be at school longer, right? That's scary. So I think that should be rewarded. Every curricular I ever joined, Destination Theater, all these different things I did, I loved them. I really, like, I met a bazillion of my friends, but again, it was scary. It's scary joining something new. So I think you should be rewarded for the times that you do. Anyway, that's what we got, guys. If you guys have any thoughts on it, if there's anything that we missed, or if anybody has any updates, let us know because we are very interested. But something that we do like to do on this show, and we got to get to.
Bashing.
That's 100% right. We do like to bash on this show. What is this? Yeah. We like to boo, and we have already booed these people once, but we're gonna boo them again. Here, Lamb, we don't have a picture. Doesn't matter.
We don't need a picture. I'd just be angry staring at it.
So last week we talked about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle and Markle.
Markle. I think it's a K.
There was rumors that they were gonna get a podcast. Spotify was rumored that they were going to pay them 7 figures for that podcast. It annoyed me and Lamb to no end. It annoyed me specifically because they're already zillionaires. There's a prince. Why do we need to pay them $7 million, $10 million, whatever?
And apparently, that just wasn't enough money for them.
Apparently, that was even short of what I was.
They scoffed at it.
Yeah, scoffed $1 million. That's a joke. So apparently, they have signed on for, and I'm going to say this, a 9-figure Netflix account. So yes, exactly that. If you can do 9 figures, that is somewhere above $100 million that they are going to be paid for a multi-year Netflix contract. I am going to single-handedly go to my viewers and punch each one of you that downloads and watches that off Netflix. I think Prince Harry is boring. I think Meghan Markle comes off as a B word. I think that I don't understand the fact that they should just be famous because they're famous. I actually hate it. Not to mention, I don't care what the show is about. Unless the show is about them
spending $100 million on charity.
Okay, you know what? That's fair. Unless the show's about one of two things. Them spending all of their money on charity, or them getting like American Gladiator, and they have to like every episode run through some horrible obstacle course. They get like pied in the face and like blasted.
Them playing Wipeout.
Yes.
Over and over again.
I'm totally in on that. I would love to see them get pummeled. Watching Meghan just get blasted off like a platform would just be the ultimate. So unless it's that or them just continuously giving away money, I don't care. I also am upset because the biggest part of the story that I thought was really crazy was they were supposed to do a charity this weekend. A rumor they had set aside some time and apparently some money. Our crew chief is here.
You guys are behind schedule. Let's wrap this up.
Oh, sorry, we're
Sorry,
on
guys.
schedule. Sorry about
15
that.
minutes.
15 minutes. Sorry, guys, we're behind schedule. Crew chief likes to come in and turn everything off and on.
Luckily, didn't unplug anything today. Last time was a bit of a nightmare.
If you guys don't know, that's my older brother Tony. He actually is really helpful for the podcast. He helps sometimes cooks us meals. He does some of the grunt work, and allegedly, we don't want to say this on air because we're not sure who it is, but somebody has been taking 2 Dumb Idiot stickers and putting them all over Los Angeles. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, for those of you that are in Los Angeles, if you find one,
you
let us know.
It's got a QR code on it. We will send you something.
Yeah, we may send you something. You
Yes.
gotta let us know where you found it because we will know if you're lying or not.
That's true. Actually, if you guys don't know, we've been taking these little 2 Dumb Idiot stickers. I wish I had one on me. And we've been putting them around the town. And Tony, can you have a sticker? And they have QR codes on them. And we did not know this. If you guys have never done this, we did not know this. The QR codes we've been posting everywhere, Lamb can actually go online and actually see how many of them been scanned, and even the kind of the general.
And how many unique scans? Like, so if you scan it multiple times with the same device, it doesn't register.
And again, you said something about
it'll give a general location where it was scanned.
General location where it's scanned, so we can see like if you put like a sticker outside of a coffee shop, we can see like that's really getting hit a lot, or if we put this one in the woods, nobody's seen it, right?
Yeah.
So we can kind of have an idea. Really cool. It's a really fun idea for us, our guerrilla warfare, to try and get people to hear about our podcast. So we're trying everything, guys.
I was buying bagels the other day, and I saw one just on the ground, just like right on the ground, right in front of the bagel shop. I was laughing my butt off.
I went to the grocery store the other day, and I was literally walking by like a red box machine that you can rent a video, and like right in front of the red box where you had to press a button was a 2 Dumb Idiot sticker. And I was just look, why rent a movie when you could see a podcast, right?
I know, it's way better.
I love it.
Way better.
Sorry, we got really tangented there. The other thing I said, so Meghan Markle and Prince Harry were supposed to do a charity this weekend, and it was for sick leave veterans and veterans that are injured, and it was supposedly going to raise over $1 million for this group that does it. They canceled at the very last second. There's been 2 reports, so I at least want to be fair about it because I don't want to just give the report that I think is true. The actual company
Their official statement.
Yeah. I'm trying. It was like, it's like a company, or is it like, I guess a charity, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess the charity released a statement, and their official statement was that they canceled it to COVID concerns. I am calling BS on that because they canceled it like a day before the event. If like you were worried about,
man, it's still COVID.
right? Like I don't know, like what there's like some sweeping, like it's done. Like I don't know what they
They were hoping it was like they're like we gotta wait, maybe it'll be over.
Maybe the last second no. So they canceled it, but that was their official statement. What I think happened, and this is the other story. Apparently, when they were gonna film it, they were going to film Harry and Meghan like helping these veterans, and then they were going to put it on Amazon as a documentary. They just signed this $100, $200, $300 million deal with Netflix. So they are direct competitors. So I feel like maybe a couple days before they sign this, and I guarantee like Netflix probably said, like, you can't do that. Like, you can't put out
That's
something.
a direct competitor.
You can't put something out for another platform the second we bring you on here.
Yeah.
Like, we can't do that. So I think that's what happened. I'm shitting on them. We like to do that here at the show for people that are crummy.
They don't do anything.
They don't provide anything. They don't do anything. They have all this.
They can't even go to the charity thing they're supposed to go to.
You have the ultimate platform and unlimited funds and just the world at your disposal for you to go out and kick ass, and you decide to just be a bump on a log. Busters, actual jabronis.
Bunch of busters.
There's a bunch of busters and jabronis. So we had to shit on them. All right, what else we got here? Let's get to a good story. That was fun.
Let's go to this guy.
Hell yeah, this is a great one. Okay, so this has apparently been an issue that's happened a couple times, and we thought this story was great. Apparently, a couple days ago, about a week ago, and a plane here in LA was landing, and apparently they were about, I think they said 3,000 feet off the ground is what I think I read the report. They were about, maybe less than that though. They said I think they were about 3,000 feet from landing.
Yeah. And
the pilot of the plane looked to his right, I believe, and there was a man in a jetpack flying next to them. Apparently, so he called it in today, like, I'm trying to land here. There's a guy, I think he's in a jetpack flying next to me.
Like the Rocketeer.
Yeah, but apparently, after we looked this up, apparently this has actually happened multiple times. Maybe I feel like an idiot. I didn't know we had like jetpacks really working yet. Like I know, like I've seen that like
30-second, like yeah.
Or I mean the one out of the water, right?
Yeah.
That everybody used. I've seen that, and I've seen like some trials, but I didn't know.
The hand ones, the two-hand things
Yeah.
that goes like 15, 50 feet even maybe, but not like
3,000 feet in the air. That's like an Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Like I have not seen the Iron Man suit presented to me.
My
yet.
hope is it was like a drone with like a mannequin on top, just flying around like Superman.
Just like a machine gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be great. That really would be great. If you want to mess with the FBI, have them immediately come to your house. That's the best way to do it.
I love they have like a map. They have like we're tracking the airspace. This is like they literally have the planes like no, it's like in this area.
If I printed out like a cardboard cut of like Jean-Claude Van Damme with maybe a bandana and like a gun, and he was just flying next to like the plane, that would be the best radio transmission of all time. Jean-Claude Van Damme is next to us,
blocking our path. It's just like
looks like he's got a jetpack. I'm really not sure what's going on. I just love this story. I just like, okay, you wake up on like a Tuesday and you're a
This is my favorite. The actual line, he said, Tower, American 1997. We just passed a guy in a jetpack.
That is the actual radio transmission.
Yeah.
I mean, he woke up on a normal day and just assumed he was going back and forth.
Sentences this guy never thought he would say.
Well, there's a jetpack right next to me. We just passed a guy in a jetpack. I don't know. There is no follow-up to this story yet. So
apparently the FBI is investigating it. So that's what this story has.
But that's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't catch the guy. Like, I mean, again, it surprises me and doesn't surprise me they didn't catch him, because it surprises me in the sense of like, there's got to be cameras. It's the FBI, like I'm sure.
Yeah.
But also, like, he is on a jetpack, so
This guy's got some means. He's
But
got some access to some technology.
I imagine he saw the plane and probably landed immediately
Yeah,
so he
he's
could
like,
get out. Because if you kept flying around, they're like, there he goes, you know?
Yeah,
Like, they're like, I just hope like maybe it just flipped upside down. He just crashed into our mountains. He just goes down as like nobody
I
ever
would love it
finds
if
him.
he just like landed on the wing and just wrote it in.
Again, on my 1,000 questions for this story, why did he have to do it at the airport? Couldn't you like go to like the mountains or something?
You know, the Tesla SpaceX is right by the airport.
Maybe it's Tesla.
Yeah, maybe Elon Musk got a jetpack.
Maybe that's why
And he wants to dick around.
Maybe that's why they haven't. I didn't know the FBI was hashtagging.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Hashtag safe skies. Hashtag jetpack.
Okay, this is a tweet from the FBI Los Angeles. This is hashtag safe skies,
love this.
hashtag jetpack. Why did they get the hashtag?
Why did they need a Twitter? Why is the FBI LA need a
Does every like
Probably.
That's crazy.
Maybe
man.
they tweet out like threats and stuff.
This is
but
definitely.
how many followers do you think FBI Twitter's got?
I don't know, but this is definitely the most exciting one they've had in months for sure. All right, so again, if you guys have heard any stories like this, let me know. But this has apparently happened multiple times at airports where there's been a guy on a jetpack. I was unaware that we have working jetpacks, so and that's news to me. That's what I learned right
I think
there.
that's why the FBI is interested. They want this jetpack more than the guy.
Yeah, it
like,
might be.
bothering planes.
It might be Elon Musk, Paul. You might be right. It
Yeah.
might be him trying to scare. All right. What time is it here?
We got some time.
We got some time.
Yeah.
Okay. So I want to do.
Get your boys in there.
Yeah, let's do it. I told Lamb about this story, and I told him that we normally don't talk about video games a ton, but this story really gave me a chuckle. So if you ever played video games at all, the Madden franchise has been around.
It's like 95, I think.
Yeah, since like the early 90s, for sure. I remember they had Marshall Faulk and all these guys on the front at the very beginning. But it's kind of a staple. It is the football franchise. The problem with it is it's a piece of shit. But beside that, the problem with it is...
Well, it used to not be.
It used to not be a piece of shit. But also, the problem is that EA owns the rights to the NFL. So the NFL has given EA rights to do it. They can have all the players in there. They can have all the coaches. You literally cannot go make a football game and have it be the NFL. You couldn't have the NFL in there. You couldn't have the players in there. You would get sued, and you'd be forced to crumble. So literally, if you want to play a football game, either it has to be made-up teams and made-up players, or if you want it to be whatever your team is, you have to buy the Madden game. Because of that, though, it has forced Madden and the EA people to become very lazy. These games have become almost the exact same version of themselves every single year. Madden 19, Madden 20, Madden 20. It's the same
it's tough
game.
because they are they are forced to come out with a new one every year.
For sure.
Like Call of Duty can come out every 3 years or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They have to have. Now, maybe not in the future. Maybe they could just have expansion packs with new rosters. Mm-hmm. But they have to, every year, they're expected to come out with a new game. Correct.
Every year. People, it's like a rule. They have to come out with a new Madden. And so they are forced to continue to try and come up with new things. But they don't. The game is almost exactly the same. People are saying that they basically are paying $60 for an updated roster, and they don't like it. Now, the only reason I bring this to you guys, that alone would probably be not enough to feature on this show. It does have a massive... population of the video game people that are kind of started hashtags and really upset, and they're basically, honestly, I've told Lamb this, the numbers are not great. I've looked at like the amount of people playing it. Everybody that I know who's even tried it as they said it's garbage. There's all these hashtags going around. NFL drop EA. People are saying like, look, NFL, you can't have one team as be the only people to make a football game because they do a really crappy job with it and nobody else gets the chance. Again, all of that alone was a story for me because I think it's one of these things where I don't like the company EA. They constantly do this. They're just money grabby. And not only do you pay $60 for a game, once you get in, if you really want like good players, you still got to pay a ton more money. You could probably spend $500 before you have a good team in that game. It's just so grabby, and kids are playing it, and they're yanking money off parents' credit cards. I think it's so junky. All of that aside, they're lazy, and they don't fix the game. So one of my favorite glitches with this year, which started this conversation with Lamb, was they didn't change like the stadiums. So if you go to the game and you zoom in on the sideline, it's Madden 21. But if you zoom in on like the back of the sideline, it'll say Madden 20. And then if you zoom in on the top rafters where like the nosebleed seats in, it'll say Madden 19 on it. They are quite literally just recycling the same thing. They're not even like attempting to pretend it's a different game. They're just charging you for the same one over year after year after year. The reason I bring it up to you guys is this game is filled with hilarious glitches, things that should not be in a video game. You can max screen that just for a second. This was the first one that gave me a chuckle here. And we'll show you guys a couple from at home. I'll tell you what's going on here.
Apparently, this was new ball physics.
New ball physics here is what this
new
called.
year, new ball physics.
Yeah.
More accurate.
This is the new Madden game, brand new. And so for you guys can't see it at home, the ball landed on this player's head. He cannot grab it. He cannot pick it up. He's just walking around with a ball on his head. Nobody can grab it. It's loose. Everybody's there. What does that even count?
I don't even know if it counts as a touchdown. It might be a fumble.
It might be or incomplete pass. Yeah. Wow, that's actually crazy. So it literally, the guy just carried the football all the way down the field with on his head, and it didn't get any. What is this one? This one was, I don't remember what this one was. I don't remember thinking. I don't remember liking it. Oh, this is just, I think it was another. Oh, this is the ball on the ground. Yeah, to play this one. Yeah. This was the ball on the ground, I believe. You can fast forward a little bit. It looks great. It looks great every year. Oh, it's just another ball. Now you got like 10 players doing it. All right, so let's skip out of this one.
Just running around circles.
Just run around circles. Nobody can grab the ball.
This was great.
This is a picture. This is a guy playing a game, and there's not even lines on the field, so that you couldn't even tell like where they're at on the field. It looks like a big soccer field. There's no 50-yard line. There's nothing in this game. This one's junk. This one, this was the guy that just freezes. Keep going. That's funny, but it's not great. Oh, this is a good one. So play this one. These are all. This is the fumble Ruski, dude.
Yeah, see that ball just flying around.
I didn't even see it before. It's over there.
Yeah, so this one's the Angels in the outfield where the guy is just the ball just.
This is exactly it. It's on the ground. All these players are trying to grab it, and because the game is so broken, nobody can even pick it up. Everybody's just scrambling in circles trying to pick it up. It is so funny to watch. I think I'm gonna play you like one or two more here. This is the stumble recovery, but I want to play the other one.
I thought the other one was the
this one. Yeah. This is the one of my absolute favorites. This is the one that actually got me to show Lamb this one. So they have these animations where the player falls and he's supposed to pick himself up, but this one is broken. So when you go to stumble recovery, this is what it looks like. This guy is quite literally just crab crawling.
I love that the other people can't tackle him either, though. Like, they're frozen. And they're just watching him until he crashes into somebody accidentally. Then he falls over.
This is the game that you have to pay $60 for. It is such a pile of shit, and it's crazy to me that like it's the only football game you can get. What do you think about that?
I think if I'm the NFL, I got to be mad.
Yeah.
They're putting your name on this.
That's true. I didn't
like,
think about that.
That's the bigger problem. If I'm the NFL, I got to be like, no.
Yeah.
You, like, people are getting mad now at the NFL.
Right.
I would imagine the NFL gets a cut of these games.
Yeah. I would imagine that too.
And you're putting out garbage where people are getting mad at the product?
NFL drop EA as a trending hashtag. Like, that's not what you want. You want people openly bashing the game and telling you how big of a pile of crap it is. Not to mention, you normally see like a ton of commercials for this thing come out. Yeah. It's a big promotion. They usually get a lot of players. I didn't see any of that this year, and then they just kind of snuck it out. It really does feel like they just went full lazy, updated the roster, and gave you the same game. For me, it's one of these things like as a company, you just... A couple years into a company, sometimes you really don't know who they are. This company, EA, has really shown who they are, and they're a company that will continually rip you off for money as often as they possibly can, and they're completely shameless about it, and they never will answer to critics. They don't even say, like, sorry, we'll fix it, nothing. You won't even hear from them. I almost guarantee this goes nowhere, which kind of sucks. I guarantee they just crap out another version of this game next year, and people keep buying it.
And we talked about this. It's like a lot of things. It's not just a video game. It's like all these things where they're just pumping out updates to pump out updates.
Yep.
I don't care.
Yeah.
My cell phone, like I used to be one of those like kind of latest and greatest like cell phones, like new features. Now my cell phone's like 3.5 years old. The only thing on it that's not like up to like my highest like thing is the battery.
Yeah.
I've already looked into it, and it's on my list of like things to do.
I mean,
get a new battery in this phone, and then I could probably go another 5 years with this phone.
You're right, and that's something we've talked about even beside the video games. Is that it is a very common trend for companies to give you a product, not give you a way to fix it, other than buying a new version of that product, right? Like, and cell phones are the best example of that. It's like most of my cell phones haven't even been broken. Almost none of them every time I get a new cell phone, it's not because I need a new cell phone. It's because my battery can't hold like more than like a 2-hour charge. Back in the day, you just went and bought another $20 battery and you were cruising. But now it's like they physically make it so you can't do that. It's not even allowed. They claim it's because it's dangerous and they don't want you to open the phone. That is a bunch of garbage. We did it for years and nobody had any problem. I think it's a really crummy thing to do. I think there's a lot of versions like this where people just continue to pay for something brand new. Like you said, not every year people get a new phone. It's the same phone. There's like maybe 1 or 2 features that are new, but you're paying $1,000 for a couple new features.
I know. I was taking photos yesterday of a sunset, and a friend of mine, and we were just like, I was blown away at how good the photos were.
Right.
And this 3.5-year-old phone. Plenty good enough to take these selfies. Like, I don't need, like, this insane brand new camera. Like, $2,000 phone.
No.
Like, ugh.
Yeah. So, I really, it hit on another subject for me, but I did have to show you guys those glitches because they did make me laugh. If I was playing it, it would irritate me. Since I'm not playing it, just it makes me chuckle. All right. What else you got here? I think, Would
We
you?
got Ben and Jerry if
Oh.
you're feeling it.
I want to do. I just want to do
You
this.
want to get your Novak.
I want to do this Novak Djokovic story because it was kind of crazy.
So
if
I'm
you
gonna
guys,
see if I can find a video of this for you.
Yeah,
While
yeah.
you pepper the people with the background.
the background. And before we do that, while Lamb's looking for that, I do want to Paul through this in the chat. If you guys are new to the stream here, go ahead and hit that follow button. We really appreciate it. We go live every Monday and Thursday, 4 p.m. 7 Eastern. But more than that, me and Lamb really just take hours to put the show together every single day, every single Monday and Thursday, excuse me. We do a lot of research. So if you guys like that and you want to say thank you, all you'd have to do is, hey, there we go. Hey, appreciate that. Oh, man, we got a subscription. Another subscriber. 2 subscribers today. Appreciate that. Katie Mom.
2 months now. She's on a 2-month streak.
2-month streak. All right, Katie Mom, appreciate that for the subscription. So what she just did, if you guys are, like I said, are new, she just attached her Amazon account, her Amazon Prime account, to Twitch, and she for free is able to hit a subscription button. What that does for you is you don't see commercials anymore when you watch our stream, and it does give us a small income so we can make it keep happening for you guys. We can keep the show going.
And as Paul put in the chat, it comes straight out of Jeff Bezos' pocket.
That's correct. Also, the other thing is, if you guys don't know this, it is actually September for a Twitch. So what that means is, if normally you wanted to subscribe, it would cost you $5.99. If you've never done it before, it only costs you $3.99 this month. If you don't have Amazon Prime, you can pay for $3.99. It'll give you no commercials for every time we do a show. A nice little benefit if you guys are interested in something like that. We would love any support you guys. But let's go ahead and show this video. So this was something really obscure, and I just wanted to show it to you guys because I thought, again, how random it was. So this is, we're going to blow this up in a second, but this is Novak Djokovic, who is expected to win the U.S. Open. He's been frustrated after the first set. He lost the set 6-5. He was getting frustrated with with some of the calls and stuff as tennis players do.
Saying, it's like here,
yeah.
boom.
He just, out of frustration, whacks a ball, not meaning to, but it hits a line girl in the throat. Let's play it one more time here. Sorry.
So let's see if it
shows us show replay. Hits a line girl in the throat.
So this is just
then they DQ him. They disqualify him from the match.
All right, so we'll see. This is just like the live.
Let me show him here. So there he is. He's about to have the ball in his hand. He just smacks it. Bow, and hits that girl in the throat. She goes down. He goes over. He's so frustrated. Now, I said, okay, I understand he hit somebody with the ball. I understand he did it out of frustration, but he doesn't seem to do it on purpose. So my question was, why did he get DQ'd? So I actually had to look it up. The answer is kind of interesting. Apparently, in tennis, this is a very specific rule. The rule clearly states if out of frustration or anger, if a player angrily hits a ball and it comes near a judge or a ball person or strikes them, then this person can be disqualified. At first, I felt like that was kind of a discretionary rule, but when I think about it, it's like it's actually the other way around. It's discretionary in the right way, because if I throw a ball and I'm in frustration and I whack it and it goes in the wall, doesn't hit anybody, okay. But if I really was aiming at somebody and then I whacked it and it hit the judge and I was like, oh my God, that was an accident. We can't get into whether it was an accident or not, right? Like that's not, like, we can't do intentions anymore. We can't decide whether you wanted to hit me or not. This isn't a court of law. So just across the board, the rule is, don't hit a ball in frustration any direction, and this won't happen. So that is the rule. And quite literally, they walk over to him and say, you know the rule. The rule is if you hit a ball in frustration and it comes near a judge or a ball person, you're out. You actually hit a person and injured them, so you're definitely disqualified. So he was probably going to win this event, and he got DQ'd for smacking a ball. Do I feel bad? No. I honestly think for somebody like that, it could be a really big eye-opener. It can be like, wow, my small little temper tantrums are going to cost me my career if I don't pick my shit up. You know what I mean? So,
for sure. I love it.
Yeah. I think,
like,
you get into like intentions and what he wanted to do and whether he tried. I totally understand. Now, if this would have just like nicked the girl in the knee, they might have come in and been like, hey, they still probably could have DQ'd him. Honestly, it would have been a bigger story that way. But this one, they almost were left with no choice.
Oh, you have to.
Quite literally injured the girl.
Honestly, even if that wasn't the rule, I think you kind of almost have to.
Yeah, for sure.
It has to be like an instant
and
repercussion.
I think it probably. How many times have we seen
those are all volunteers or kids?
Yeah.
Like,
how many times have we seen tennis players smash a racket off the ground and stuff like that? But I've never seen them like actively actually hit something at somebody, and this still wasn't that. But
and it's weird because they do often like bounce a ball, hit it off to the side or whatever that they don't want. They don't like to bounce on it or whatever. So I kind of get the idea.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, oh, I don't want this ball. Like it just like cost me a point and you just whap it away.
Yeah, I agree.
I get kind of the idea, but then you hit somebody. I'm like, oh,
it's just it is a reminder that like
you're a professional. It's your job.
You're professional, and your job is to even though there's an insane amount of pressure, your job is to keep your composure, or at least, enough to the point where you're professional. So I thought it was kind of a crazy story. I've never seen anybody get deep.
Hey, Mambod, subscribe too.
Hey, 3 subscribers today. What is going on? Appreciate that, guys. Oh, no, not the
Nah.
that was
That was supposed to be a boom.
Yeah, that was about to be an Appreciate that. 3 subscribers today, guys. Really appreciate that. It does keep it really, 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 really helps. So thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate that. Can't say enough, Mambot. Thank you so much.
Got to
And
keep
Katie,
these lights on our face.
That's right. We got to keep the lights on, period. So thank you guys for that. But yeah, crazy story. I didn't know if you guys had heard about this before. It was just really bizarre if you had seen the video. You want to go Ben & Jerry's real quick?
Yeah, I got to give them a shout out, man. I just love me
Let's
some
do
Ben
it.
and Jerry's. They out there just getting it done.
Mombot said it took a while to figure out, but she got it. So I appreciate that. And like I said, if it is complicated, Paul does drop the thing in the chat. And again, if it really is that complicated, I know $3.99 is $3.99, but it is actually on discount. So if you don't have an Amazon Prime, or if you don't feel like doing all that work, that's all it costs. And that money goes directly to me and Lamb, and we were able to buy new shit for the podcast, keep the lights on, and keep the show running because me and Lamb love doing it. It really is a dream for us to do it. So appreciate that, guys.
And Mambot, if you want to, maybe put like a step-by-step video together, like maybe some sort of like little, thing. I'm sure we could.
Yeah, we joke
feature it somewhere.
We joke because Mom Pot is our low key PR rep. She
low key graphic design
graphic
head.
designer. She designs a lot of our pre-show pictures and stuff, and she's just a really cool follower. So shout out Mom Pot. All right, anyway, we thought this was cool.
Speaking of shout outs,
yeah,
here we go.
Here we go.
Ben and Jerry.
Ben and Jerry
Starting a podcast.
Somebody just texted me and said that they couldn't get back into the show. Did anybody else get booted originally?
I don't know.
Okay, we're doing all right. I think we got.
We're still here. We're still live.
We're still live. Okay,
Tell
cool.
them to search harder.
Hey, use your computer better.
So Ben and Jerry starting a podcast. Normally, we're not a fan of competition. But
Not direct competition. That's right. Yeah.
we realize this is not a direct competitor to us. Ben and Jerry starting a little podcast called Who We Are.
Sounds interesting.
A chronicle of racism in America.
Wow.
Strong title.
That is strong title for a Ben and Jerry's podcast. Well, we thought it was cool. So what they're actually doing is they're not going to have a podcast about ice cream or something. They are very big believers in doing the right thing. And if you follow Ben and Jerry's at all, they consistently try and do the right thing.
Coming out September 15th.
September 15th, and it takes a deep look. It's a 6-episode podcast. It says it's based on the acclaimed presentation of Jeffrey Robinson, but it does like it goes into slavery. It goes into systematic things, issues, things like that. What's up?
I can't not say this.
All right, hit me.
So the podcast is going to be hosted by best-selling author Carvel Wallace.
Mm-hmm.
Carvel, if you're from the East Coast, is an ice cream chain.
Oh, that's right. That's true. Yeah.
I just find that hilarious. That
The
Ben and
irony.
Jerry got Carvel
Yes,
to be their host.
To do their podcast. That is pretty funny. So we thought it was cool. I mean, we bash on Megan and stuff, and even if you're not a fan, this isn't a podcast you would listen to. As a company, I think you guys have to understand, I think it really is tough to do anything great without getting backlash from every single direction. But they have decided instead of doing a podcast on something easy and cushy, which they could easily do on like the making of their ice cream or some dumb stuff like that, they decided to go with something a little bit more informative, a little bit more provocative, something that's something at least they're done in the good vein. They're trying to do something great. They're trying to get they're trying to play their part and kind of with everything going on. So we thought it was kind of cool. Ben and Jerry's out there trying to do the right thing.
I think that line.
Yep, we have been lifting the lid on systematic racism and criminal justice reform over the last few years, and we're excited to bring this story. So they're going to try and do their part. Ben and Jerry's, I'm sure they're going to face lifting the lid. Whoa. Okay, I see what they did there. Okay. So like I said, whether you hate it or love it, I think it's very bold play from them, and I think it's one of those things where with people with platforms just tend to be quiet because they don't want to because I think they're going to face backlash for this. There's just going to be people that just naturally are like, don't want to hear about racism.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
I mean, the same people that tell athletes to shut up.
Right.
Like,
So it's just going to be people that aren't going to like
make
this.
ice cream.
Right. Exactly. So I think it's going to be people that are upset about it. But as far as it goes, I thought it was a very bold stance by them. I thought it was something that was kind of cool. They could, like I said, easily could have gone a cushy route, but they decided not to. So that was kind of cool.
I just wanted to give them a little shout out.
Yeah,
a little love to them.
Yeah, somebody doing a podcast and trying to do something positive with it. So that's what I got. I think that's it for us today, man. I think we're gonna call it on that. We're trying to stay a little more short and sweet for you guys. Hope you guys had a good time today. We tried to get through some fun subjects. We had a lot of good news stories in there. I'd love to hear what you guys have to think about the SAT stuff. I'd love to hear what you guys have to think boneless wings. If anybody actually is going to watch this Harry and Meghan and Netflix stuff, please let me know why so we can bash it. So, Derek, thanks, man. Appreciate you watching the show. Appreciate that, man. If you guys, like, man, look, I hate to be this guy. We are really not guys that like to plug our own stuff. We kind of think it's obnoxious. But if you guys ever run into somebody that might like the show, or if you share it on your own page, we will not only shout you out, but we'll be very touched. It is almost impossible for us to find new fans quickly. So we are just kind of doing our guerrilla warfare. We're trudging along with stickers, and we're hoping that people share us. We're trying to bring on guests. We're trying to do our thing. But me and Lamb absolutely love doing it. We love bringing you guys something positive and new every week. And we love giving you guys something very different. We have an absolute blast doing it, putting the sound effects together, writing the stories. If you guys can see, we got a board full of notes. I mean, we really do put in the hours here for this. So we love doing it.
And you can actually see them today.
And you can actually read them because Lamb wrote them, so they're real notes. But, yeah, we have so much more to offer, and we want to keep going. So if you guys ever share it on your page, tell a friend, write a grandmother, whatever, you get us some new viewers. We really appreciate it, and we will shout you up. I just want to say that because, honestly, without you guys, we don't have a show at all. So thank you guys so much for hanging in and watching with us. And Lamb, anything else you got here?
I just want to thank Paul, as always, just for being in here and doing his thing.
Mm-hmm. Paul, for real, man, we always shout you out.
Part of the team, bro.
Paul, yeah, you are our third talk show host, man. So it's me, Lamb, and Paul here. He moderates. He keeps it going. He does his sharing, and he really does help us grind us out. So, guys, thank you so much for watching the show today. We had an actual blast, as always. I'm going to hit the sound effect button one more time because I just love it. There it is, Wilhelm scream. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. I'm Nick.
I'm Kevin.
And we're 2 Dumb Idiots, and we're probably gonna raid somebody, right?
Yeah, we're gonna try it.
Yeah, we're gonna raid somebody. If you want to stick in for 10 more seconds, we're gonna raid probably Andy Milanakis one more time or something. Who knows?
See who's. We got to go to the world and see who's out there.
I think yeah.
Hey, there he is.
He's got 2K, and then we'll raid him again.
Oh, should we is it Ron Funches with only 4 people?
I don't know who Ron Funches is.
He's a comedian.
All right, do it. Let's raid him.
See if I get.